Good morning, friends and family of Delta Company. Captain Corbin Perry here at the office. I'm going to give you all an update of what is going on here during our rotation. So I appreciate your patience. Sorry I haven't done one of these updates in a little while. I've kind of just been posting events. But as we near redeployment, I kind of want to let families and friends know what to expect. Now, as always, everything in the Army is subject to change. A lot of these decisions and timelines aren't on the company. It's much higher, battalion, brigade, and much higher than us. We're still waiting on official flights to be approved at very, very high levels. So I just want to let you know kind of broad brushstroke what to expect as far as timeline. So first of all, I do want to thank everyone in the Mico, including the families and friends. Recently, actually yesterday, this company received the Good Order and Discipline Guidon streamer, and it is currently on our Guidon, and it was awarded by the brigade commander. Now, what that streamer means is that our company went 7 months without any soldier misconduct, nothing reported, and you actually get the streamer if a company went 45 days without misconduct. That's the criteria for the streamer. But we went 7 months, and the brigade commander, and including talked to the lawyers this morning, and they don't know of any other company that's done that. So we could be the only company out of 40 other companies that has not really gotten in trouble. And it's a big deal because this rotation is known for soldiers getting in trouble. And that is because we have a curfew that people can bust and get in trouble. That you can drink here, so you can drink here, but at the same time, we're supposed to be ready to fight tonight. So it's hard to balance that, and that takes the good non-commissioned officers and the good soldiers to be able to adhere to the rules. And our brigade commander is really big on recognizing good behavior, because for the last couple months, all he's been doing is punishing soldiers for getting in trouble. So it was a really, really big deal that our company got awarded the streamer. And I want to thank those at home, because, a lot of times soldier misconduct isn't an isolated event. A lot of times there's stuff going on at home or with their friends or family, and they just kind of get overwhelmed, and then they make a mistake and they get in trouble. So thank you for all the support that you have given your soldier here in Delta Company. Because we've done something that hasn't been done in the brigade yet. Very, very proud of the company. So today, August 30th, we are finishing up this month. Really looking forward to September, because what September means is we are going to be. This week and next week's our last real week of training. ICP, the Information Collection Platoon, just finished up a huge high visibility exercise that got praises from the brigade commander, our battalion commander, the senior intel officer. So ICP did a great job. MFP is up north training right now, working for echelons higher than us right now. That's a really big deal. They're getting a lot of good visibility, doing great things for this company. And the Shadow Platoon is extremely close to getting the 600-hour mark of flight hours, which is like they've doubled the last unit's flight hours annually. So they're doing a great job up there. So we're all finishing up, we're closing up, because what happens in September is we start getting ready for the unit that's replacing us to come in, and the biggest friction point is we got to give them all of our property. So I signed for $30 million worth of property, and we're gonna basically do the layout, make sure we didn't lose anything. That's the point of it, is to make sure we didn't lose anything, because the new Delta Company commander that's going to come in is going to look at all the property and make sure we didn't lose it, and then he's going to sign for it. Once he signs for it, we are clear to go. That's kind of like our release criteria for the rotation. So September is all going to be pre-change of command inventories, just making sure we didn't lose anything, making sure all of our papers are right. We start loading our connexes, so we're going to start packing up, basically, making sure our duffel bags are good, and we're going to start packing up. And then sometime in October, the very, very beginning of October, our replacement is going to start showing up. And the way it works is, when our replacement shows up, let's say, ideally this is how it works. If 15 of them show up, 15 of us go out, right? Now that happens at the brigade level, but really they're the same flight that lands, we leave. So we're keeping the even amount of people on the peninsula. It's kind of how it goes. And that's how a lot of deployments go. Because that would be a lot of flights to have one flight drop people off, and then it goes back home, and another flight come back and pick them up. It would just be too many. So they try to maximize. If a flight's coming in, that means people are leaving as well. So all the flights are happening in October, and they are staggered, from October 1st all the way to the 31st, October 31st. Now the 31st is the absolute last. It's like the last flight. It's called trail flight. I'll put it this way. I will be the last person, one of the last people to leave here, because I have to sign over the property. So my goal, personally, is I do not want to go on that trail flight of the 31st. I would love to be home before Halloween. All right, that's my goal. So hopefully, somewhere in the 20th and 25th, I can catch the last flight home. But there's going to be flights every week in October. And as soon as we know the flight schedule, hey, BEB battalion, you have this many seats on this flight. That means Delta Company, you get this many seats. Once we get that, we're going to start plugging names. And prioritizing based off of, the mission here. No, certain people may have to stay just a little bit longer than others, but honestly, they're going to be by just a week or so. So as soon as we know how many seats we have per flight, and we start putting names, that's when we can tell you when your soldier's coming home, and then we can kind of backwards plan, what day approximately that individual will be home. Now, here's the catch, though, is we may plug a name on a flight, but that flight may may shift to the left or the right by a day. It's still not, in the Army, nothing's final until your flight has taken off. And once it's off, and even then, it can land in a different area. We stopped in Alaska before coming back. It can land in Alaska and the plane can break, and then you gotta wait a couple more days. So the probability of them coming home at the actual time you expect gets better as you get closer to when the plane actually leaves. So I just want to set realistic expectations and not get anyone's hopes up too high, but there's a great chance that your soldier will be home a couple days after their flight. So we will let you know as soon as we know. I'm very excited to get home. So when we get home, from what we've been told, the way this looks is we get home, and there's a 48-hour pass immediately. And they're going to be released, so we're going to land, at Hunter Army Airfield, get bussed over to the big parade field at Stewart, and then we're going to form up and then get released to our families. So once we're released, we got 48 hours off. Recommendation during that time is you go turn your cell phones on, right? A lot of people either turned them off, like me. I got a new SIM card over here, so I'm going to go directly to AT&T, get my cell phone turned back on. And then those who need to get houses, or apartments, that's time to do it. For really the audience I'm talking to now, you're going to be picking up your soldier, 48 hours off, and then 48 hours, and then they're going to come back and they're going to have 5 days of reintegration. And that reintegration it's standard deployment reintegration, and those go with like, hey, you're home now, classes on finances, classes on how to integrate back with your family, because believe it or not, it's different. It really is, and this is coming from someone that deployed for 9 months, and I came back home to wife and kids. It was very different because I was literally used to you. So you as spouses are used to us not being there, so you've kind of managed the entire household. And then we are used to just not having responsibilities but to ourselves. Some of us had soldiers to take care of and whatnot, but it's just not the same as spouse and kids. So there is a reintegration process. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's very doable, but they provide classes, and it helps. Also, they give driving safety classes, because majority of these individuals have not driven a car in 9 months. So it is kind of weird to drive after not being able to do so for a long time. And they have substance abuse stuff. It's all beneficial, but it's 5 days, and there's probably going to be a standard 9 to 5 out work day. Probably no PT. I'm guessing no PT. Now after those 5 days, your soldier's going to get 2 weeks of opportunity leave, and that's going to be everyone's going to be on different schedules because people are going to be arriving at different times. So everyone will be staggered with different flights, and then getting their 48 hours, doing their 5 day, and then taking 2 weeks of leave. That's different. A lot of times, when you deploy, you come back in that winter time frame, like we will, fall to winter. They'll usually just say, well, we'll just give you got Christmas block leave coming around the corner, so we'll just take that one. But this time, Division 3rd ID is actually giving us 2 weeks of opportunity leave, so that's gonna be great. I know everybody's got the leave. I mean, we were all here for 9 months and couldn't use leave, so everyone's got that 2 weeks. It's 14 days, and you can take some of it, you can take all of it, whatever you want to do. And then when we get back, it's still prior to holiday block leave, so it's kind of cool. We're gonna just be, kind of getting merging in with rear detachment and us, and merging property. I'm actually going to be changing command out soon, so we're going to be doing property inventories, but there's not going to be any trasy training. I've been told that it could possibly be 3-day weekends. Basically the Army 3rd ID is going to try to and 1st Brigade is going to try to give us back the time that we've been away from families. It's not going to be too crazy, especially for Delta Company, because we don't have any tanks or Bradleys or anything like that. So that leading up to Thanksgiving, and then you're going to get your standard 4-day Thanksgiving, and then from what I've been told, we're going to have a longer holiday block leave than normal. So most times block leave is December 20th to January 3rd or something like that, right? This one, I've been told, is from December 15th to January 6th. So that's about a week longer than normal. So you're going to get a longer holiday block leave, which will be really nice. And like I said, everyone should kind of have the leave if they want to take it. If they're not ETSing or PCSing, if you're staying here for a little bit, there's no reason not to take the whole thing, so that's what I would recommend. And then after that, when we come back in January, we have just some basic MI training. Again, nothing too crazy. I wouldn't say it starts ramping up until the springtime again. So, and from there, future is kind of uncertain. As in every unit in the Army. But I just want to give everyone kind of expectations of returning home. I can tell you right now, everyone's very, very excited to come home. I'm super excited to come home to see my family, and honestly, we're kind of all Korea'd out. I'm excited to go to Chick-fil-A. Little things in America that I took for granted. We've kind of been doing the same thing every day. Yeah, we could leave on the weekends and go do some tourist stuff, but we've been going to the same shopette and PX for the last 9 months, so it'll be really, really nice to just go to a different store, drive a car. We've been walking everywhere or taking cabs, so getting a car back would be really, really nice. And then, I'm sure everyone would agree with me on this, but ready to eat some good home-cooked meals, or even eat out at a good American restaurant, because right now, a lot of us have just had this DFAC, which the DFAC was not bad. Don't get me wrong. Like the DFAC was, probably one of the best Army DFACs that I've been to. However, 9 months of the same style of food, it gets kind of old. So I'm very excited to come back, maybe grab some groceries and cook and whatnot, and hang out with my kids. So, all right. Yeah, that was a good. I mean, this is an update I've been wanting to send you again. Congratulations to you and your soldiers. We're looking really good over here. The Mico is doing the right thing, and we're very excited to come home. And I will keep everyone posted and make sure that your soldiers, they'll know their flight when I know it. So, all right, everyone, take care, and I'll talk to you soon.